from 89 to 99, so most of the 90s, and camp means so much to me. I still come out here and volunteer. I love the young ages. That's when I like to come out. But it was all about finding the perfect bunk, and you wanted the top bunk at first, when you were young, and then after that, once you had your group of friends, you just wanted as many as you could put together to make one big bed. And I'd have that mix of emotions on the ride here. I was a little scared, but I was mostly excited. And the pool, was rocking and rolling. And you get here that first night, and that was everybody's favorite activity, or it was mine, so I figure it was everybody's. But that first night you would get here, they would let everybody, the entire camp, boys and girls, go swim. And so the lifeguard would line everybody up, and you do that, that test. You had to swim from one side of the pool to the other. But once you passed that, you had the rights to go anywhere in the pool. So that was always a big deal. I remember one year they did something called a rap session, which I didn't quite understand. And then, because you're thinking rap, but we went and it was just talking. It was, and they would give us topics to talk about. I remember that. We would do some crafts sometimes. Now, as a young girl, probably my least favorite was when we had to go do the archery and the riflery, and all the boys loved it. But I'm glad we did that. We'd go out to the back, and they'd have it all set up, and it was fun when you were doing it with your friends, though. We'd have free time and pool time. Those are the dining hall. So when I came, we were still in the older dining hall, and I can remember being in that line, and it was probably 5 minutes, but it could have been 20 in my head, as a 12-year-old. But they always had one counselor who would hold the doors almost like a guard, and we'd push up against them, and they'd make us wait, but all the counselors had to go in and set up so they'd get to go in, and they'd tease us as they'd walk in that they got to go first. And when I was in high school, actually, is when they began the SWAT program, which stands for Servants Worthy and True, which is still thriving today. It was not what it is now, but the heart of it has not changed since. Brother Don Barrett started that, and he just it wasn't a huge crowd of us, but from all the area churches, and I can remember it was just as much study as it was work with the hands. It's neat that they can create something that costs so much, in terms of time and effort, because some of it's grueling work, and you're not doing glamorous stuff at all, but you have made such great friendships, and you have learned such a new commitment level to the Lord and to the job and excellence and this camp, serving this camp and these campers that you can't get enough of. I can remember spending as many weeks out as I could to work, and I'm so grateful for that. I learned a lot of good lessons through Brother Don and through that program. Not a shadow of a doubt in my mind that I would not be where I am spiritually today if it would not have been for Camp Pearl, because like everybody, when you go into high school, you have one of two paths to take, and the path that I started out in was not the path that honored the Lord. And I came out here between my freshman and sophomore year, and the Lord really convicted me of, you've chosen the wrong path, and you need to get on the right path with me. And that, I'm telling you, there's a tree that I still know over by the putt-putt area, and that's where I sat down and prayed and rededicated my life, and I did. So Camp Pearl means so much to me, and it's like you just started. It means so much to me that my children are learning the lessons and following the Lord through the help of Camp Pearl, and we can share that.